Hey guys, what's going on? Jacob Ferendorf with Academy Realty, brokered by eXp Realty. I just wanted to hop on here a bit to talk about something that I dealt with a former client of mine, and what I want to dive into is something that I have not dived into yet, and that is rent to own options. Right? I'm sure that you've heard of rent to own options in the past. Maybe you don't know exactly what it is. You haven't had it exactly explained to you. So I just want to hop on here and explain it a little bit to you so that way it's a little more clear in everybody's head, right? So I'm going to dive into the pros and I'm going to dive into the cons of the rent to own option. So, first thing I'm going to do is talk about the pros. So without further ado, we will get into it. Now, the benefits of renting to own, the first one that I can come off with on the top of my head is the low barrier to entry. Okay, so you have a lower barrier to entry when doing it. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, what I mean by that is when you do rent to own option, you don't have to come out with a whole, full down payment to put down on a house. You don't have to go through the, you know, very very strict mortgage rules that there are right now. Now, do you have to go through some? Yes, but keep in mind you're not the one who's going to be pulling financing, right? You're not going to be the one who's going to be pulling the financing for the property. It is the company that is going to purchase the home for you, and it's coming from their pocket. So they're the ones with the skin in the game. They're looking at this as an investment property. Essentially, what we are working together is that you're the finder. You decide to want to move into the property, and then the company will step in, and then they will submit an all cash offer on the property, and it's going to be their financing. So it's like this: we put an offer in on the home. The company pays the seller, right? They pay the seller an all cash offer, and then you move in, and then you have the basically what you're going to do is you're going to be leasing from them, right? You're going to be leasing from them with the option to buy. So what's strong about that too, working with them, is that you're more likely to get an offer accepted when we do submit an offer, because typically when people look at the market, and it varies for a lot of people. It really all depends on what the seller wants, but all cash offers tend to be stronger than other offers. You have things like FHA with 3.5% down. You got VA loan 0%. You got conventional, right, which is a significant more percent down. And with all these, you're going to have financing with these properties, right? You're going to have financing with every single one of them. So with all cash offer, you don't have to worry about the financing. Therefore, less things are going to fall through, which is why the seller likes accepting the all cash offer, because it's a quick close, it's a fast close. They can walk away, without a lot of discrepancies, things like that from a traditional mortgage, right? Another benefit of it is that your lease payments are going to be locked in, right? So typically when you rent with one of these companies, what happens is that your lease payments do not go up like traditional rent does every single year. You could even do something like a 3-year lease, a 5-year lease, what have you, right? With the option to purchase during the terms of that lease. So that way your payments are 100% locked in, and you're not going to keep on climbing up in payments, right? So then basically when you have everything all locked in, you're renting from them, and you decide to want to purchase, because you are leasing at this home, you don't have competition when you want to buy the home, right? You're not going to have to go through a lot of competition. You're not going to have to be submitting multiple offers, things like that. So it's going to be beneficial in that case, because you're going to be able to get the home that you want. You're able to get in the home with the all cash offer, and after making the payments, when finally the option to buy comes, you're able to not deal with competition because you are already in the home. So anyways, those right there, those are some the pros. Now I want to talk about, you know, the cons when it comes to rent to own. Just like everything, right? Just like everything in life, you got pros, you got cons. So here's, you know, essentially what they are. So when you're looking at these rent to own options, what you have to realize is that the company that's putting the all cash offer in, they want to protect their assets, right? They want to protect their assets because they can't just be, you know, these companies, they have big bucks to get you into these homes. But the thing is that they do want to protect their assets, so they're not going to be just spending buku bucks on stuff that is going to be thrown to the wayside, right? That's going to be completely thrown to the wayside, and that is going to essentially make them lose money. So they have strict requirements on homes that you get into. So with that being said, what's going to happen is that there's going to be more homes that are off limits. You can't just pick any single home that you want. Let's say you find something that you 100% love, and you're like, yeah, you know, I wanna rent out this home. The company, you know, because they're putting the all cash offer in, might look at this and go, you know, it's from a financial standpoint, we're going to lose money on this, so we're not even going to put an offer on it. So that sucks, right? You can't just put an offer on something that you want because essentially you're using somebody else's money to get into a home. So another con of it is that your payments are going to be more than a traditional mortgage, right? So when you get a traditional mortgage, you know, you pull out money and you're just paying the mortgage company, you're paying the property taxes, you're doing things like that. Now, when you're doing the rent to own, you know, you're handling those, you're handling the property tax, you're handling, you know, the upkeep on the home with the, with the company that bought it for you. And on top of that, they also want to make a profit, right? They also want to make a monthly profit as well. So with that being said, your monthly payments are going to be higher than if you just went the traditional mortgage, the traditional buying route, right? Sometimes rent can be pretty pricey. Sometimes it's not that bad. It really all depends how the numbers work based on the home that you decide to rent to own. Okay. Another con as well is that you're not going to be building equity during the term of the lease. Okay. So it's not like that the payments that you're making are going towards the mortgage, things like that. Now, there may be some companies out there that work that in there, but a lot of the ones that I have worked with, they, you know, you're not going to be building equity. You're not going to be building equity whatsoever on the property. So that is a definitely like a big downside of it. But hey, you know, like I said, there's pros, there's cons with everything. Yeah, it's pretty much like renting, right? There's certain things that you won't be able to do into the home because you're technically leasing it out. So it's not like when you own, you can just make all the additions and whatever that you want to do. There's going to be certain restrictions and certain guidelines because you're going to be dealing with a property management company that needs to essentially okay and write things off, right? But yeah, you know, like I said, there's pros and cons to no matter what you do in life. Whether it's renting to own, whether it's purchasing your own property, there's still pros and cons. But yeah, that's pretty much the info that I want to talk about on this video. I realized that I can dive into more with you, right? I can dive into more of how everything works, but for the length of the video, I do want to keep it relatively short. But if you do have questions on pretty much how the whole process works, or, you know, if it's something that you want to get started, or maybe you have a question on whatever the case might be, you know, whatever it is, don't hesitate to reach out. You can always, you know, find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can email me. You can, you know, text my business number, whatever the case is. So all that information is going to be in the description below. And yeah, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. Again, this is Jacob Farendorf with Academy Realty, brokered by eXp Realty, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.